On January 29, 2026, during the third day of the first closed-door shakedown in Barcelona, Mercedes completed over 180 laps with their new W17. It wasn't just the mileage that sent a ripple of quiet concern through the paddock. It was the unofficial lap time set by their rookie driver, Kimi Antonelli, a stunning 1:17.362. While not an official record, that single data point, representing blistering pace on a day of flawless reliability, immediately raised a critical question about the biggest driver move in a generation. We need to break down what Mercedes has achieved, how it contrasts with Ferrari's troubled start, and why it might signal a seismic shift in the 2026 power dynamic. For Lewis Hamilton, the 2026 season was meant to be the dawn of a new era, the culmination of a career-defining move to the scarlet of Ferrari. After years of chasing Red Bull, the sweeping new regulations, smaller cars, active aerodynamics, and radically different power units were the perfect inflection point for a fresh start. All hopes have been pinned on Ferrari harnessing this reset to build a championship-winning car for the sport's most decorated driver. But as the first real-world data points emerge from the Barcelona shakedown, the central question is this: is Mercedes' shocking early pace a genuine sign that they have mastered the new regulations from day one? And in leaving the team he won 6 titles with, has Lewis Hamilton made the biggest strategic gamble of his career at the exact wrong moment? To answer that, we have to look closely at the engineering story unfolding on the track, starting with the sheer, undeniable performance of the Mercedes W17. Let's start with the data, because the numbers from day 3 of the Barcelona test tell a story of profound competence. Mercedes ran 2 cars, with George Russell and Kimi Antonelli completing over 90 laps each. That totals more than 180 laps in a single day, a colossal amount of running for a brand new car built to a completely new set of rules. To quantify that, it's the equivalent of running nearly 3 full Spanish Grand Prix distances in roughly 8 hours. This wasn't a glory run, this was a statement of fundamental reliability. In the context of the 2026 regulations, this mileage is perhaps the single most important performance metric. The new power units, with their 50-50 split between internal combustion and electrical power, and the removal of the complex MGU-H, represent a monumental engineering challenge. History, specifically the start of the 2014 turbo hybrid era, teaches us that power unit reliability is the bedrock of KER.
Be a season success. A team that spends its first test fixing electrical gremlins and cooling issues is a team that isn't learning about its aerodynamics or chassis dynamics. Mercedes, it appears, is already well past that initial hurdle.
Then there is the pace. While teams are running different fuel loads, engine modes, and tyre compounds, making direct comparisons difficult, Antonelli's 1:17.362 lap time cannot be ignored. Set on soft tyres, it is an objectively rapid time for the very first outing of a new generation car. It suggests that the W17 is not just reliable, but possesses a high-performance ceiling right out of the box. The car appears predictable and responsive. According to the Independent's live updates, Mercedes logged a 1:2 on the timing sheets, with Antonelli's best lap followed closely by another in the 1:17.3 range. This isn't a single anomalous lap, it's a sign of consistent, repeatable speed. This level of performance hints that the team's design for
Philosophy is fundamentally sound. While details on the W17 are scarce, the ability to complete high lap counts at pace suggests their cooling solutions are effective, their energy recovery systems are stable, and their new chassis is aerodynamically balanced. They are not fighting the car, they are already refining it. This is a luxury few teams seem to have.
Now let's turn to Ferrari and the debut of the SF26, which presents a starkly different picture. The Maranello outfit's first proper run was on day 2, a day heavily compromised by weather. Rain began to fall around 10:30 a.m., meaning much of their running was conducted on a wet or damp track surface. According to motorsport.com, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton shared the driving duties, accumulating a total of 121 laps. While a respectable number in isolation, it's a world away from the 180-plus laps Mercedes managed in the dry. The wet conditions are a significant variable. They limit a team's ability to gather clean aerodynamic data, understand tyre degradation in representative conditions, and push the car's mechanical components to their absolute limits. Then came the incident on day 4. As reported by Planet F1 and captured on video that quickly circulated on social media, Lewis Hamilton had a full 360-degree spin at the exit of turn 10. While he recovered and continued, it was a visible sign of a driver still finding the limits of a new and potentially tricky machine. Spins in testing are not unusual, especially with new regulations, but it provides a visual counterpoint to the image of serene dominance projected by Mercedes. It's a reminder that Ferrari is still in the phase of discovery, taming their new creation. Hamilton himself described his first proper day in the car as very challenging. In his own words to the media, he noted, "Very challenging today. Started raining, got about 120 laps, really productive, proud of everyone, lots to do." The tone is professional and measured, but the choice of the word challenging is telling. It speaks of a car that requires effort and concentration, a machine that is not yet a seamless extension of the driver. What makes Ferrari's situation so fascinating is how it contrasts with the narrative coming from their chief rival, Mercedes. While Hamilton is navigating spins and rain-soaked asphalt, the Mercedes camp is projecting an aura of quiet, formidable confidence. The W17's performance is not just about the numbers, it's about the ease with which those numbers are being achieved. While Ferrari was managing a challenging day in the wet, Mercedes was pounding around a dry circuit, gathering vast quantities of high-quality data. This creates a developmental offset. Mercedes is likely already moving on to setup refinement and performance runs, while Ferrari is still working through its initial reliability and handling assessments. This is the competitive context that gives the lap times their meaning. This divergence is amplified when you consider the broader paddock. Red Bull, embarking on its new era with a Ford-badged power unit, has also been logging significant mileage, with reports mentioning their own extreme design philosophy. Haas and other teams have also been running consistently. In this environment, Mercedes' performance on day 3 stands out. They didn't just run, they dominated the unofficial timing sheets while completing a marathon distance. They demonstrated both peak performance and endurance, a combination that is exceedingly rare this early in a new regulation cycle. The contrast is clear. Mercedes appears to be executing a pre-planned test program with military precision, while Ferrari is reacting to the conditions and the behavior of a less predictable car. We saw a similar philosophical battle in previous regulation changes. The team that starts with a stable, reliable platform almost always has a significant advantage in the development race. The question for 2026 is whether Ferrari's more challenging start is simply a temporary hurdle or a sign of a more fundamental issue with their design concept compared to the immediate coherence of the Mercedes. It quotes, "A classic testing dilemma, the visible, quantifiable success of one team versus the carefully managed, optimistic language of another." The insider perspectives from the paddock add crucial layers to this emerging narrative. The drivers and team personnel are, as always, guarded, but their words, when analysed, are revealing. Lewis Hamilton's feedback is a masterclass in professional diplomacy. After his 121-lap rain-affected debut, he told motorsport.com, "Ferrari needs more days like this. Really productive first outing." He framed the very challenging day as a positive, emphasizing the mileage and the team's effort. This is the response of a seasoned leader, focused on building morale and managing external expectations. He is not panicking. However, he also admitted there is lots to do, a subtle acknowledgement that the SF26 is not yet a finished product. This contrasts sharply with the feedback from the Mercedes camp. Their rookie, Kimi Antonelli, was understated but positive, telling The Independent the car was enjoyable to drive. An enjoyable car is typically a predictable car, one that inspires confidence. This subtle difference in driver feedback, challenging versus enjoyable, speaks volumes about the initial characteristics of the two machines. Ferrari's leadership is also projecting a message of determined optimism. An unnamed Ferrari chief, speaking to F1 Oversteer after the first few days, described the experience as a dream come true. This is the kind of emotional, passionate language one expects from Maranello. It reflects the immense pride and hope invested in the new project. It serves as an important counter-narrative to any suggestion of a crisis. Internally, the team feels they are on the right path, even if the initial steps have been complicated by weather and minor incidents. Charles Leclerc echoed this sentiment before the test began, telling F1 TV he was very excited to see what others have in store. This is where we must apply a layer of balanced skepticism. Teams use testing to send messages both internally and externally. Ferrari's talk of a dream come true is designed to galvanize the workforce and reassure the tifosi. Hamilton's calm, productive demeanour is that of a seven-time champion refusing to be rattled. But the data from the track offers a more objective truth. While Ferrari speaks of dreams, Mercedes delivers facts in the form of lap times and mileage. The most telling commentary may come from their rivals. Antonelli himself noted he was impressed by several other teams, Red Bull power unit, lots of laps. This is a subtle but powerful piece of gamesmanship. By praising the reliability of a key rival like Red Bull, he implicitly frames Mercedes' own reliability as being in the same elite tier, while leaving other teams like Ferrari conspicuously unmentioned. The paddock doesn't need to hear a direct criticism. The silence is the message. The strategic implications of this early testing disparity are enormous and extend far beyond the Barcelona circuit. In the era of the budget cap, starting the season with a fundamentally sound and reliable car is a bigger advantage than ever before. If the Mercedes W17 is as good as it appears, it allows the team to immediately shift its resources from basic problem-solving to performance development. Their engineers can focus on refining aerodynamic concepts and unlocking the car's full potential, while a team struggling with reliability must divert time, money, and personnel to fixing fundamental flaws. A mid-season redesign to correct a major conceptual error is now almost impossible under the cost cap. Therefore, a strong start isn't just a head start, it's a compounding advantage that grows with every race weekend. This is why Mercedes' Day 3 performance
could be so significant. It suggests they have nailed the two most critical aspects of the 2026 regulations, the power unit integration and the basic aerodynamic platform. If this proves to be true, it will force rivals like Ferrari and Red Bull into a reactive position. They will be watching the data from the first few races with intense scrutiny, trying to understand where the Mercedes is gaining its advantage. If the advantage is significant, it could trigger a desperate and costly development race to copy their design philosophy, potentially compromising their own long-term plans.
For Lewis Hamilton, the situation is layered with a profound sense of potential irony. His move to Mercedes in 2013 is now legendary as one of the most prescient career decisions in sporting history. He left a winning McLaren team for a midfield Mercedes Works outfit, correctly gambling that they would master the upcoming 2014 turbo hybrid regulations. That move delivered him 6 world championships. Now, in 2026, he has made the opposite bet, leaving the established powerhouse of Mercedes for a resurgent Ferrari, hoping to catch the next wave of regulations perfectly once again. The early signs from Barcelona suggest he may have jumped ship at the precise moment his old team rediscovered its championship-winning formula. We are watching a high-stakes strategic gamble that could define the final chapter of his illustrious career. This is not to say Ferrari is in crisis. A single spin and a rain-affected test are not definitive proof of
a failed concept. The SF26 could very well have a higher ultimate performance ceiling that is simply taking longer to unlock. But in Formula One, time is a non-renewable resource. The development race waits for no one.
So, to answer our central question, is Lewis Hamilton shocked by Mercedes' insane pace? The public-facing answer is no. He is a consummate professional, focused on his own program. But given the stark contrast between Mercedes' flawless, pace-setting runs and Ferrari's more turbulent introduction, it is impossible to believe that he and his engineers are not taking serious notice. The data suggests that Mercedes has produced a potent, reliable, and immediately fast car. It is a bold statement of intent and a powerful opening salvo in the 2026 war of development. While its ultimate success is far from guaranteed, the initial evidence points towards Brackley having a significant early advantage. This technical battle is just beginning, and it will evolve with every race weekend. To get the deepest, most informed analysis on how this story unfolds throughout the 2026 season, make sure you subscribe.
Be to the channel. Our goal is to bring 50,000 of us together for the most intelligent F1 conversation on the platform. So what's your verdict on this early data? A sign of a Mercedes resurgence or just pre-season testing noise? Let me know your analysis in the comments below.